गुड आफ्टरनून बेटा।
गुड आफ्टरनून कशिश। कंफर्टेबल है इंटरव्यू के लिए?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, shall we start?
Yes, sir, sure.
Kashish, first you introduce yourself to the board members.
Sir, as you know, my name is Kashish Kasana. I have been born and brought up in Meerut district of Uttar Pradesh. I have done my basic schooling from Meerut itself. And I pursued my graduation and post-graduation, both in statistics, from University of Delhi. Apart from academics, I take keen interest in dance. And I can also play guitar. That's one of my hobbies.
Okay, Kashish, you are good in academics. You first in the MSc marks. So why you want to join the Indian Statistical Service?
So I am good in academics. That is because I had a clear objective that I want to qualify the Indian Statistical Services examination. So that was my objective, that I need to learn statistics. Apart from that, I do value PhD and research subjects like courses further. However, I want that whatever I have learned in the past 5 years, I want to learn more practical knowledge and go more deep into it by hands-on training, which I think I was with the
Okay, and one more thing, and your hobbies are professionally dancer.
that I want to become a professional dancer.
Okay, you want to become a
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many classical language in India? Classical dance in India, sorry.
Sir, there are primarily 8 classical dances in India.
Okay, from which you want to work?
So I want to learn Kathak, which is basically from Uttar Pradesh itself. It is one of the classical dance forms.
Okay, what is the instrument used in Kathak?
Sir, instruments, tabla is used in Kathak.
Okay,
Apart from that, the music of any Hindustani vocal music, any instrument can be utilized.
Is it sarangi?
Sir, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, Kashish, first tell me about what is the tariff in very simple terms.
So tariff is basically a tax which is levied on imports from any other country.
Okay, what do you see the implication of US tariff imposed on Indian goods?
So there are several implications. If I had to divide them in major categories, first implication will be the sectoral implication on our labor-intensive sectors, which are apparels, manufacturing, or shrimps factories, or textiles, leather. All these, they might face unemployment for a short term. Apart from that, investments like FDI, they are drawing out of Indian foreign exchange. So that is one implication. Apart from that, I think it has also impacted Indian-US strategic relationships, even though for a short while, but it has.
Okay, due to the pressure of US tariff, India and China again come to join to form a group, India, Russia, and China. So,
Yes.
do you think it is good for India? What your assessment as a statistical student?
So my assessment is that I think India is moving ahead with its own national interest. We have had several conflicts with China in the past, including that Galaman. However, I think it's time to move on, and it is better for both the countries to move ahead together in such times of geopolitical conflicts and uncertainties, which have engulfed every corner of the world.
Okay. Have you gone through the press release of GDP data, quarter one data of this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, how was this data? Is it good or is it worse?
Sir, it is actually good given the atmosphere or the times we are living in. The real GDP growth in the first quarter of this year was 7.8%, which is, I think, a quite high number. So it was good, according to me.
Okay, and do you think the second quarter data might be down due to the US tariff?
Sir, there are speculations that the real GDP growth will continue to go high.
Okay.
However, there were also claims that the 7.8% growth was due to certain other factors, which are incorporated in the calculation method, the way Mosby calculates or estimates this growth. So that inherently had some, you can call them flaws. So I think this will continue in the next quarter as well.
Okay. You from Uttar Pradesh, our neighboring
Yes.
country is Nepal. What is going on in
Yes.
Nepal?
Sir, in Nepal, there are going on large-scale protests due to which the Prime Minister had to resign. And I think there's going to be a complete political overturn.
So this is called a Gen Z protest. So are you Gen Z?
So yes, I was born after 2000, so I am.
So what is the classification and meaning of Gen Z? We always sing the Gen Z. What is Gen Z?
So all these generations and all their classifications, they have basically originated from America, where there was IT revolution at some point of time. So then they called them millennials. And now we are here with a new age of artificial intelligence, social media, and all these things taken over. So this is all Gen Z is.
Okay.
And because of
How can India should be very precarious due to the Nepal tension?
Sir, India needs to be careful, and I think India needs to be aware of whatever is going on and keep an eye on it, because Nepal is the bordering country. It shares its borders with UP and several states. Also, it has open border with it, so that adds to its concern. And when there is a common saying in geopolitics that if the neighborhood country is unstable, it can also hamper your own growth. So India needs to be vigilant, and India needs to be cooperative in all this.
Okay, you are graduated and the masters from Delhi University. So who is
Yes,
the
sir.
chancellor to Delhi University?
So Chancellor to Delhi University, it is the president itself, the president of India.
No, I think it is vice president.
Okay.
And who has been elected as a vice president of India? Election took place in yesterday and result has been announced in evening.
Sir, I'm sorry, I could not read that news
Okay,
today.
okay, no issue. Sir.
Okay, Kashish,
Yes, sir.
what is the difference between arithmetic mean and average?
Sir, average is an umbrella term. You can use it for any measure of central tendency. A median is also an average. A mode is also an average. Geometric mean is also an average. However, arithmetic mean is a specific formula. It is one of a kind of an average, which basically sums these observations and divides them by the number itself.
Okay, why we use the sampling?
So we use sampling because we cannot conduct a whole census on the population. It improves the efficiency of our estimates. That is why we do it.
Suppose we have a sample of 25 observation and we calculate the arithmetic mean. So can we say that this arithmetic mean is a consistent estimator for population mean?
We had 25 observations.
Yes.
So arithmetic mean in itself is always a consistent estimator of population mean, which is why we always use it. So yes, it
Okay.
is.
What is the meaning of sufficient estimator?
So sufficient estimator is basically a function of the observations, which comprises of all the information that is available in the sample about the parameter of the population, which we are going to estimate.
Okay, what is the difference between clusters and stratas?
So there is a very basic difference. First is that stratas are supposed to be homogeneous within themselves, whereas heterogeneous among themselves. And then on the other hand, we have clusters where they are supposed to be homogeneous between themselves, whereas there should be maximum heterogeneity within one specific cluster. So that is the primary difference. And also there is a difference between why we use them. Stratification is used for increasing the precision, whereas cluster sampling is used to reduce the cost and time.
Okay, in estimation theory, we maximize the likelihood function.
Yes.
Why not we minimize the function?
So because we have to find the best estimator for the parameter. So likelihood function itself means that it is a function where we have the observations given and we form a function which is basically of the parameter itself. So when we maximize it, we mean that what are under the given sample observations, what is the possible value of that parameter, which will maximize it. So that is why we maximize it.
Okay. What is the difference between random sample and observed sample?
So as the name suggests, random sample is random. It has a probability distribution from which the random variables have been picked up. Observed sample is what we have after we are done with observation. So suppose we have a dice, and before we perform the experiment, we can theoretically have a random sample. However, once you perform the experiment, we will have the observations in front of us.
Okay, what is the difference between estimator and estimate?
So estimator is a function of the sample observations, which is used or which can be used to estimate the parameter. However, estimate is a particular numerical value of that estimator.
Okay. Kashish, how your native district Meerut tested in terms of economy?
So Meerut is one of the highest per capita income district of Uttar Pradesh. I think it stands at number 5, and it is one of the major hub in India of sports goods manufacturing and some other things.
Okay. Suppose you are in officer in charge of field operation division. One of your field officer persons call you. So some of the household is not giving a data, not giving any interview questions. So how you motivate them to work?
So I think we need to build a personal rapport with the people whom we are going to collect the data from. I think the enumerators who will be located in that area, they should be having it. Apart from that, if many times people do not understand why the data is being collected, they think it's some kind of conspiracy or the government is trying to spy on them. So we can connect them with the major government policies. For example, if I had to collect health data from a household, they won't understand why I'm collecting this data because it won't directly impact them. However, I can tell them about the AIR-1 Bharat scheme, which I'm sure they must be aware of. So we can connect through this.
Okay. Why we are delayed decadal census? What is reason behind we delayed decadal census?
So the primary reason was the arrival of COVID, which was quite unpredictable.
COVID is now over in 2022.
Sorry, sir.
COVID is over in 2022. So why we have another two years?
So I do not know the specific reason to that.
Okay. And what is the income criteria to OBC NCL?
So the income criteria is that families who are earning less than 8 lakh, whose annual income is less than 8 lakh rupees, they will belong to the non-privileged.
But your mother-father income is more than 8 lakhs.
So that does not apply to government employees. So
Then you have to say the excluding income and agriculture income.
Yes, sir. Excluding income from salary.
Salary and agriculture.
Yes, sir. Agriculture.
Okay, okay. So OBC reservations are ensured by Constitution of India from which article?
So I'm not aware.
Okay, there is a reservation issue in Maharashtra. Maratha community asking a reservation in OBC category. So what is this reservations protest?
I'm sorry, but I'm
okay. There is recently Supreme Court has delivered a judgment recently related to stray dogs. What were their judgments?
So initially, Supreme Court ordered that all the stray dogs have to be picked up and placed into shelter homes and have not to be left on streets. Then there were protests against it, and the Chief Justice of India himself had to intervene, and they said they revisit the judgment. And then I'm not sure what was the judgment after that. I could not follow it.
Okay, suppose you have given a very specific task to increase the performance in IMR and MMR data, infant mortality rate and mother mortality rate. How do you do this work? To reduce the IMR and MMR?
Sir, I'm sorry, but can you please rephrase it? I mean, you're asking me to frame a policy to reduce the
Yes.
Okay. As a statistician or as a
No,
non-statist?
as a policy formation, as
Okay,
a
okay.
any capacity.
Okay. So may I take a minute?
Yes.
So I think that in rural areas, it is more prevalent than in urban areas. So what we need to do is that we need to improve the government healthcare infrastructure. And apart from that, we also need to incorporate more labor force into that. For example, ASHA workers, which are dedicated to all these kinds of services in villages. they need to be recruited more or they need to be monitored more, which can help us improve IMR and MMR, etc.
Okay, what is the difference between newborn and infant? Is it same or different?
So newborn is basically a child who is newly born. And infant is specifically all the children who are of less than 1 year of age. They are all infants.
Okay. Then why not we call the newborn mortality rate? Why we call the infant mortality rate?
So as I just said that infant specifies the year, that 1 year of period. That is important for this criteria because there is also another kind of mortality rate which is under 5 mortality rate. So just
Okay.
like that, we have infant.
Okay.
Service.
Government has introduced some changes in the GST slabs, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware the GST changes? And who take such decisions?
Yes, sir, I'm aware of that. Basically, GST Council, which is a constitutional body, it is responsible to take such decisions.
So is it good for consumer or bad for consumer?
Sir, there are speculations of all kind which exist out there. On one hand, people are saying that it is good because it reduces 4 tax slabs to 2, and most of the daily consumables have been shifted to 0% tariffs. Whereas on the other hand, there are speculations in the market that because of input tax credit or inverted duty structures, the burden can ultimately come back on the consumer, even if not in short term, in long term. So there are
Will you
speculations
will you
about
will you name 5 household product which often we are using having the less taxations after 22nd of September?
So first is
We can benefit.
cottage cheese, which is paneer,
Okay.
then butter, bread, and
Parathas.
okay, and so I think ready-made food from the hotels
Yes.
or
Yes.
restaurant.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah. Kashish, define a random variable.
So random variable, if I had to define it in simple terms,
Yeah.
it is a rule which assigns a number to an event of a sample space.
Okay. What is the sample space?
So a sample space is a set of all the possible outcomes in our random experiment.
What is the random experiment?
So random experiment is, as its name suggests, it's an experiment where the outcomes are known to us beforehand. However, we do not know in a particular trial which outcome will come. So that is how it is done.
What is the difference between physical experiment and random experiment?
So physical experiments are deterministic. For example, if I say that a man is falling off from the roof, so I know that he will fall, definitely. There is no probability associated with it. However, random experiments are stochastic. As I just said, that we do not know which outcome will we get.
Why the classical probability fail?
So classical probability, it has been of great use in statistics. I would not say that it failed. However, there are better methods like Bayesian inference, which we have come up with over the time, which includes prior distributions, which is a very good concept given that a lot of people working in statistics also have a contextual knowledge through which they can already guess the parameters distribution. So I think we have just improved.
Is there any limitations of classical probability?
So yes, there are limitations of classical probability.
Okay. What is subjective probability?
So subjective probability is it is just assigned by a person on their own personal judgment. If I say that I personally think that it will rain today, the chances are 50%. So that is subjective.
Okay. And Kashish, suppose what is your weakness?
Okay, so my weakness is that I chase perfection. I think that I find it very difficult to delegate work. I think that only I can do the best. So that is one weakness that I have. So I think, but however, I'm working on it over the past 1 year when I prepared for this exam. I have worked a lot on it. I have moved on to topics which I have not yet perfectly prepared, but I had to because of the time crunch. So I'm working on it.
Suppose you have to ask to manage the board members not select you. what will we give your arguments? Not selecting.
You mean that
For not selection, you have to.
what will be the reasons that I should not be
Yes.
selected?
Yes, yes.
So the only reason that I should not be selected is that if I score less from somebody else. Otherwise, I do not see.
Okay. Now your formal interview has been finished. You
Okay,
have any particular question you may ask?
No, sir, you can provide your feedback.
हाँ, ऐसा क्वेश्चन यदि इंटरव्यू के बाद यदि पूछते हैं
तो
यूपीएससी
नो थैंक यू बोल
नो
देना।
थैंक यू करके आपको जाना है वहां से जितना जल्दी हो, क्योंकि आपके इंटरव्यू फिनिश।
अच्छा, I thought
हाँ,
कि this is
हाँ,
the part of.
नहीं, अभी तक
अच्छा,
हम लोग
okay,
फॉर्मल ही
okay,
चल
okay.
रहे थे।
हाँ,
Okay, okay.
और ये जो क्वेश्चन मैंने आपको पूछा है, जो आप मुझे कन्विंस करिए मैं आपको क्यों ना लूं, तो क्या आई विल नॉट कन्विंस यू फॉर नॉट सिलेक्शन। आपने बहुत अच्छा भी जवाब दिया। मेरे नहीं होने का एक ही रीजन हो सकता है, मेंस में कम मार्क्स होगा, नहीं तो मैं सिलेक्ट होऊंगा।
हाँ, ये
वेरी गुड है।
अच्छा एकदम एक्सप्लेनेशन।
तो आपके इंटरव्यू तो
बेस्ट है।
अप टू मार्क्स, आपको तो नहीं होने का
सवाल ही
रीजन
नहीं है, मतलब
ठीक
है ही नहीं।
लेकिन और भी थोड़ा सा और आप अपडेट करते रहे और
नहीं,
मार्क्स लेके
हाँ
आए।
सर, आई एम वर्किंग, अभी पढ़ रही हूँ मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा।
हाँ, कब है इंटरव्यू?
रिकॉर्ड ब्रेकिंग
16 को है सर।
160
को है।
मार्क्स, 155 मार्क्स, ऐसे मार्क्स को करेंगे।
अब मेरे अकॉर्डिंग अगर वो देंगे तो 150 तो देना चाहिए। हमने लगभग 20
सर,
का
इतना अच्छा फीडबैक मत दो, फिर मैं अगले 6
नहीं,
दिन पढ़ूंगी नहीं।
मैं कशिश लिटरली बता रहा हूँ, हमने लगभग 20 इंटरव्यू ले लिए। सबसे बेस्ट तुम्हारा है, या फिर वो एक बच्चा कौन था जिसका रिकॉर्ड नहीं हो पाया था?
हाँ, वो तो बिहार का कोई
हाँ, अदरवाइज
डिलाइट में वर्क कर।
हाँ, सबसे टॉप इंटरव्यू है तेरा।
एक आपके बैचमेट भी था रेवती, उसका भी ठीक।
हाँ, रवैती का भी अच्छा।
उसका भी
हाँ,
ठीक।
रवैती का भी अच्छा है इस बार।
और
अच्छा उसका।
आप लोग को प्रेफरेंस मिलेगा, लेकिन अभी अपना और बेस्ट कर।
हाँ,
हाँ
और
सर।
निगेटिव क्वेश्चन को पॉजिटिव बना, जैसे
हाँ,
मैंने पूछा जो वो आपके न्यूमरेटर को कोई आंसर नहीं दे रहा, मोटिवेट करेंगे, बताएंगे गवर्नमेंट के बारे में, इस
हाँ,
डेटा से आपको ही
राइट
benefit
राइट।
मिलेगा।
मतलब अभी तुझे ऐसा मान के चलना है कि तू आईएसएस है, और एक आईएसएस कैसे डील करता है
हाँ।
वो थोड़ा अब देखना है,
गवर्नमेंट,
क्योंकि आईएसएस तू है तो वो बस अब वो भी मान के चलेंगे इस
क्योंकि
चीज।
आपके एकेडमिक बढ़िया है तो आपको काउंटर क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, जो आप रिसर्च में क्यों नहीं जाना चाहते, इंडियन स्टैटिकल सर्विस क्यों करना चाहते हैं। देखिए, किसी यूनिवर्सिटी का असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर एक इंडियन स्टैटिकल सर्विस में बहुत का अंतर होता है।
राइट
तो कई बार चाहता है जो ब्राइट स्टूडेंट ना यूनिवर्सिटी में जाए, क्योंकि हो सकता है आप थाउजेंड्स या 100 ऐसे ऐसे ऑफिसर्स बना रहे थे, तो कभी कभी चाहता है, तो उसको मोटिवेट करके आपको बताना जो हमें अभी इंटरेस्ट है, हमें इसमें जाना,
हमें आईएसएस में ही ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट
हाँ,
है, टीचिंग में।
डेडिकेशन दिखाना पड़ेगा। नहीं तो क्या होता है, 40% स्टूडेंट आजकल क्या करता है, सर्विसेज को छोड़ रहे हैं, तो सरकार को लॉस होती है इससे बहुत ज्यादा।
राइट राइट।
कंसीडर
फिर
करते
उसको लगता है ये छोड़ेगी
सर,
कहाँ।
आई जस्ट टेक अ नोट ऑफ इट, व्हाटएवर यू आर सेइंग।
बिल्कुल।
और सर बाकी कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस होंगे जिनमें मुझे नहीं पता होगा आंसर, तो इट्स कंफर्टेबली फाइन
हाँ,
ना।
कंफर्टेबली नो कह दे, तुझे ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन वो पूछेंगे नहीं।
हाँ,
वो लग रहा है मुझे। ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी।
ठीक है। अब बाकी कोई भी क्वेश्चन है तो आप मुझे कॉल करिए, लिखिए
हाँ।
आपको।
हाँ जी हाँ जी।
कब है इंटरव्यू का डेट?
16
हाँ, अभी
16
तो है, टाइम है।
16
प्रोबेबली
को
हो सकता है
आफ्टरनून।
उस दिन हम लोग आएंगे भी, हो सकता
तो मतलब टाइम कुछ होता है या फिर बस
है।
16 का डेट दिया गया?
आफ्टरनून मॉर्निंग।
सर 1 के बाद कभी भी हो सकता है, मतलब
अच्छा
1 बजे हमें एंट्री मिल जाएगी।
अच्छा, 1 बजे एंट्री मिल जाएगी। चलो, यूपीएससी भवन में ही है ना?
हाँ जी,
हाँ, ऑप्शो
ओबीसी ओबीसी
जहाँ पे रिटर्न था वहीं पर।
ओबीसी के सर्टिफिकेट आपके अपडेटेड है? करंट डेट
सर
चल रहा है? बैक डेट का तो नहीं है, 1 ईयर बिफोर नहीं है ना?
सर जब का है, जब रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए फॉर्म भरा गया था ना, वो तभी का मांगा
एक
है,
बार
क्योंकि
ना
वो
उसको
नोटिफिकेशन
यदि
ईयर है।
उसका यदि रिन्यूअल डेट कम ये हो गया होगा तो रिन्यू के लिए आप अप्लाई कर दीजिए।
रिन्यू के लिए भेज ही दे, बल्कि
हाँ, क्योंकि क्या होता है, टाइम कम देता है, आपको टाइम देगा, और नहीं टाइम पे दे पाएंगे तो फिर अनरिजर्व काउंट कर लेगा।
हाँ, तो उसको एक बार बोल दोगे उसको
यदि
करना
1 ईयर कंप्लीट हो गया होगा डेट ऑफ इश्यू से लेके, तब
सर वो
आप,
नया फाइनेंशियल ईयर लग गया ना अप्रैल से अभी,
हाँ,
हाँ, तो
क्योंकि वो फिनेंशियल
और
देता है ना,
नोटिफिकेशन पहले की थी।
उसके लिए रेडी रहे, क्योंकि क्या होता है इंटरव्यू से पहले ना ओबीसी को बहुत ज्यादा चेक करता है,
हाँ, वो करेगा।
कास्ट देखता है, ये देखता है, वो देखता है ना, तो बहुत हरासमेंट फील होता है, उसके बाद ही इंटरव्यू के लिए भेजता है। तो वो सब आप रेडी रखें, बाकी ठीक है।
मतलब उसके बाद ही इंटरव्यू।
मतलब
डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के बाद इंटरव्यू के लिए आपको भेजेंगे।
अच्छा, पहले
तो
डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होगा हमारा।
डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में आप बहुत एग्जॉस्ट हो जाएंगे तो इंटरव्यू थोड़ा खराब भी होता है। तो
ओ
डॉक्यूमेंट वगैरह आप सब कुछ रेडी रखें, आराम से
हम्म।
जाए वहां पे, कूल रहे। यदि डॉक्यूमेंट में कोई भी दिक्कत भी होता है, अंडरटेकिंग बढ़ा जाता है, 10
तो
दिन का
भर
टाइम
दो, कोई
होता है,
दिक्कत नहीं
तो
है।
आपको कोई डरना नहीं है।
हाँ, वो नॉर्मल
तो फिर
चीज
से
है।
उसको डिपोज
अगर मान लीजिए ओबीसी कैंसिल करते भी हैं तो जनरल में है तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
नहीं करेगा,
हाँ, नहीं मतलब इन केस वर्स्ट सिनेरियो है
आपको तो
अगर।
अनरिजर्व नहीं हो।
हाँ वो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, मेरा तो वैसे भी
और
टेंशन
बाकी कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो तो आप मुझे सर
हाँ
से रिलेटेड हो, हमसे रिलेटेड हो,
है, अभी कोई
कभी
टेंशन नहीं है।
24/7,
हाँ हाँ
राइट।
कोई
ठीक
टेंशन।
है।
देखना चाहता हूँ मिनिस्ट्री में फिर आपको, ठीक
हाँ
है।
मिनिस्ट्री में देख लिया। हाँ मिनिस्ट्री में देख लिया,
ठीक है
टेंशन
सर,
नहीं
ठीक
है।
है।
चल
All the
बाय
best.
ओके
बाय
सर,
बाबू।
थैंक यू, बाय।